Friday, the 17th. It is the 17th. Yeah, it's the 17th of January. I've spelled January wrong. I should probably edit that really quickly. So let's spell January as January. All right. Nope, I can't even get that right. Janu. There we go. All right, so let's do this again. Hi, everybody. John King with Summit Funding. It is Friday, January 17th, 2025. Thank you for joining me. I want to get straight to the point. It's really funny. I'm actually technically a minute late because I had scheduled this for 12 o'clock and I'm starting it at 12:01 because I was on the phone with a client who had just called me and was looking to pull some money out of his home. And literally right as I was saying, hey, I've got to go, he said, well, hey, what do we think is going to happen with rates this year? And I said, funny you should ask. I've literally got to go because I have to jump on a live stream I'm scheduled to answer that exact question. Here's the shocker. I'm going to give you the answer right now, the answer I gave him. They're not going to get any better. They're going to jump up and down. I didn't share this with him, so I told him he needs to join my live stream anyway to get all the details. We're going to see a lot of variations. The market is bipolar. The market is pulling in multiple directions, and there's multiple things that have been happening over the last 3 years that have been pushing rates for a while, pushing rates up. So we had inflation that was pushing rates up. And then we had inflation coming back down and the Fed saying, okay, you know what, inflation's coming down and unemployment's going up. And so that means rates should lower. And so they started lowering interest rates. Well, now we've got some indications that inflation's going to go higher. We've got some indications that inflation is going to go lower. We've got some indications that unemployment's going to be worse. We've got indications employment is going to be better. We've got indications from the Federal Reserve that says, hey, we think inflation's under control and we're going to lower interest rates. And then at the exact same time, they're saying, you know what, you gotta be worried about inflation coming back. And you're like, how do we know what is the truth? Well, the fact is there is no truth. Part of this is the Fed trying to manipulate the markets. I'm going to say that in a positive way. But look, there's some negative sides to it also. You've got influences, and I'm not going to be political, but you've got influences from the incoming administration that is basically saying, look, President Trump, the first time around, was really clear in telling the Federal Reserve, I think you should lower interest rates. You need to lower rates. I'm the president. Lower the rate. It's what I'm telling you to do. Lower the interest rate. But the president is doing things that are going to cause rates to go up. Tariffs is a good example of things that will push rates up, because adding a tariff makes things more expensive that are coming in from overseas. Well, that's good for American jobs, but jobs, if the job market is good, that's bad for inflation. Also, inflation is the cost of things getting more expensive. And so we're sitting in a situation where even the president of the country that's coming in on Monday is saying things out of one side of his mouth that says rates should go down and doing things out of the other side of his mouth that could cause interest rates to go up. What we're going to see is pockets of timing, pockets of interest rates moving one direction versus the other, and there's going to be no rhyme or reason to it. And so I want you to oversimplify this and say, look, rates are going to be in the range that they have been over the last year, and we're at the worst of it right now. Now, that doesn't mean it can't get worse. I'm just saying we're at the worst of where it's been in the last year. We've got rates that are on average 6.9 to 7.25. Now, mind you, in October of 2023, rates were hitting over 8%. So we are going to be sitting in this range, I believe, between 6% on the low end and 7.25 on the high end. And that's a big range. That's a large amount of space that we are covering for interest rates and trying to predict, well, should I buy my house? Should I sell a house? Should I refinance a home? And so the truth is, how do you make sure you get the best interest rate? Well, if you're looking to buy a home, it's almost impossible, because the challenge is a lot of people are saying, hey, I want to time it so that I'm buying at the time that rates are low. But how do you know the house that you're looking for is going to be available at that time? Inventory is super low. We've got a lot of people who have really, really low interest rates and they don't want to sell their homes. And so that's putting us in a predicament, as we've been talking about, where there's not as much inventory. There aren't enough homes built in the first place. And then we've got the lockdown effect of everybody staying in the home that they're in. So there aren't going to be as many homes coming up for sale. So you kind of have to strike while the iron is hot. And you have to figure, hey, let's look at my best and worst case scenario of where interest rates could be. Can I afford to make this work? That's really what you have to decide if you're looking to purchase a home. It's based on the timing of when the right home is available, not when the right interest rate is available. Now, if you're in the position where, John, I own a home, I'm looking to pull equity out of my home, I'm looking to do a remodel on my home, well, then you have a little more flexibility, but you might be waiting forever for that perfect time to come along. The sad truth is, I've had so many clients over the years who have said, John, I'm going to pull the trigger on pulling cash out of my home to do my remodel as soon as rates drop by 0.5%. And then rates drop by 0.5%. And I reach out and I say, hey, we're there. We have the rate. And they said, yeah. But if they've been falling, why would I want to lock in now? Because rates have been falling over the last 3 weeks, and now they're 0.5% lower. I don't want to miss out if they keep going lower. Think about if you're buying a stock. Think about if you are seeing the stock price and you're like, all right, well, the stock price is up, and so I'm going to wait until it falls to buy it. And so you see the stock price fall by 10%. Do you buy it then? Or do you worry saying, well, it might fall more. And so I want to wait because I don't want to buy too high. And then you keep waiting and then prices go back up. So you have to make a decision. If you're waiting, and you have the ability to wait if you're looking to refinance or do a home equity loan or line of credit. But what's your opportunity cost? One of my clients was just talking about buying a business. Another client who's looking at renovating their home. Another client who's looking to pay off debt and do a debt consolidation loan. Well, the person renovating the loan probably renovating their home has the most flexibility, but that also comes down to contractor availability and cost of goods, cost of lumber. All of that's expected to go up between now and when these tariffs are put into place. So now we end up in a position where, sure, we can get a better interest rate, but you pay more for the lumber and you pay more for the appliances because tariffs have been added. And so did you really save any money? For people that are renovating, you have some flexibility there. For people who are looking to pay off debt, your debt's at a much, much higher interest rate. So waiting doesn't serve you any good. If people who are looking to buy a business, your opportunity to buy that business is a limited time opportunity, most cases. So you have to think about, what's my opportunity cost? What am I giving up? What am I going to lose or potentially lose by waiting? And then the other thing is, I have people who are talking about, they're so fixated on their current interest rate and they can't see the forest through the trees. So I want to educate you a little bit, because we're not going to see rates drop anytime soon. We're just not. Like, I'm done predicting that rates are going to fall. They are going to fall at some point in time, but they're not coming down anytime soon. So I've got a lot of clients who are saying, hey, John, I want to renovate my home, but the only way that I can do it is by doing a full renovation loan, just because of the guidelines and how much equity they have. They're like, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want to lose my current low interest rate. So instead, I'm just going to sell my home and buy something else, which is pointless. Like, you're losing your current low interest rate when you sell your home. So and then you're having a hard time finding a home that suits your needs. So you have to, at some point, build a bridge over the fact that the rate is just a number. It's no different than selling a house that's worth $500,000 and buying a house that's worth $750,000. You're upgrading to a higher priced home. Even if you could transfer your rate with you, which you can't, you're going to pay more because you're getting something better. And so you have to rationalize that and forget about rate as a number. Think about, I'm paying this much per month right now, and I have this home. In order to get this home, whether that's through selling, whether that's through renovating, it's not about timing to get the lowest interest rate. It's, well, what's my payment going to be then for this home based on current market conditions? Is it worth the difference? That's where you have to make a decision. Don't let yourself be paralyzed over interest rates. They're not going down anytime soon. We will see volatility this year. We will see pockets of time where interest rates dip and they come back up and they dip. And I have tools where I can set you up on a rate watch that says, hey, notify you immediately when rates drop to this point. I can do that. But the truth is, are you really going to pull the trigger when it hits that number? Or are you going to get greedy and say, well, if it fell by this much, let's wait and see if it's going to fall even further. So this is really the most difficult thing when it comes to people who are refinancing. And it's even worse for people who are purchasing, as I've already said, because purchasing, you have two variables. What are the rates doing? And what house is available in the market that I'm looking for, in the neighborhood that I'm looking for, in the size and condition that I'm looking for, and how am I going to be able to make that transaction happen And can I time that with low rates? The truth is, there's a huge argument to say that when interest rates fall, more people are going to be looking to buy a home, and therefore you have more competition as well. There is no right answer. Unfortunately, things are not going to get cheaper for a long period of time. And the fact is, I don't think they're ever going to get cheaper. I think our incomes are going to catch up. I think that the market's going to stay somewhat stagnated. We're not going to see a huge amount of appreciation across the board while rates are staying this high. But the longer rates stay this high, incomes keep going up and they catch up. And that is our saving grace for affordability. Time is what we're looking for. Rates staying high for long is actually somewhat cleansing. It's like a cleanse, right? It's like, I don't know, I've never done a cleanse, but whatever version of a cleanse that you're doing cleans out your system. And so that's kind of what the economy is going through right now. There's Kitty in the background. I'll get Kitty on one of these shows soon. Anyway, that really is the key. Hi, Kitty. That really, you guys can hear Kitty in the background. Anyway, that really is the key when you're thinking about interest rates is you really have to commit to, hey, the number is just a number. What's the payments? And is that going to be worth it for the goal that I'm trying to accomplish? Last thing I want to remind you guys of, $10,000 grant has been released. So if you want information about the $10,000 grant, reach out to us, kingteam@johnloneking.com. We will send you information to see if you qualify. First-time home buyers only. You have to meet certain criteria of being in an underserved community. You have to make under certain income limits. There's lots of rules, lots of hoops to jump through. So you're getting 10 grand for free. Literally, it's a grant. It is free money, but your lender needs to know how to accomplish it. I know how to accomplish it. So I'll be your lender. Just scan this QR code right here and I will take care of you. Guys, I really appreciate you trusting me to guide you. If you have any questions about anything at all, if you're watching live, feel free to post those questions right now. Otherwise, in about 30 seconds, I'm going to wrap up. If you are watching recorded post questions, I will come back and catch these later. I am just about ready to launch my next few video or YouTube channels. The current one that I have out right now is Can I Refi, which will talk about issues related to refinancing. I'm launching one on Can I Renovate, and then 2 more that are going to be about issues of people who are self-employed and how to get mortgages for people who are self-employed. And then the final one, hi Kitty, the final one is for people who are looking to become or grow their base of rental properties. So if you're thinking about becoming a landlord, if you already are a landlord, you want to grow or shrink your investment property portfolio, I have lots of financing tools and options, and I'm launching a channel to talk about that. So it does not look like anybody has asked any questions. Gang, I really appreciate you listening. I look forward to guiding you. I am interviewing to be your lender. I provide information for free. I get paid for doing loans. If you need help with loans, scan this QR code. I'd love to help you out. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.